Hi, today we're going to be unboxing, assembling, disassembling, and reboxing the Iridology camera. So to start the whole process, what we want to do is open her up. What you'll notice at first is that it is a Pelican case. It's a strong, watertight, airtight, secure case. Very strong latches, can go anywhere, keeps everything safe and stable. So when you open it up, you'll notice at first you're going to have a plate here. This little plate is a 1/4-inch aluminum plate, powder coated with some felt feet on the bottom. So you put the felt feet down like that. You take the foam and place it back in the top like that. Underneath the foam, what you're going to notice are this face plate right here. This is where you put your face. Little foam that goes over where your forehead is. We'll put that down right there. Inside the box, what we're also going to see are a few pieces of paper. There's a caution note in here, which basically says, make sure you change the diopter, adjust the diopter or the viewfinder to your eye to make sure that your camera and your eye are focusing on the same thing. Also, please don't change the settings. The settings are set by me. I've calibrated the camera through many different pictures to make sure that the camera is color correct, that the exposure is correct, and that the settings are correct. So you get the best response with the camera if you leave the settings where they are. Also, you'll see what the camera looks like all set up. This is what it looks like. So if you have any questions at all, you want to refer to something, there you go. And here is what it looks like packed up on the bottom layer. All the different things that are in there. Quite a few different pieces. A lot of people like to refer to this so that they can know exactly where everything goes until they've done it for a little while. And there you go. These little images and notes come packed here in the case. They are also going to be packed on the flash card that's in the camera. So you can access them electronically, put them on your computer, print them out again if you want. Now, we have the next layer of foam. The next layer of foam is all cut out to cover and keep all these things here stable. So we'll put that aside and we'll see what is in the case. We have chin rest, extra screws, a Allen wrench, a screwdriver, the macro focusing rail and mounting, where the battery charger and batteries go, and charger for the battery for the camera. And the full system, the knob for the chin rest and all of your lens cap and body cap. So there you go with that. So to start the whole process off, you'll take the face mount and you'll take the Allen wrench out of the case. Take the screw out of the bottom. I tend to keep the screws in the bottom of all the pieces that mount to the plate because I'll always know where they are. I tip the plate back, put the screw through, bring it up like this. It works best to keep the plate over to the side just a little bit so that you have a little bit of weight on the plate, therefore it doesn't fall over. Align this up and then just put it in. It's very easy. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the arm here is perpendicular to the back of the plate. It looks like it is looking good, so one little scooch like that, now it's tight. Turn it around, bring this back again, pull the macro focusing rail out. Again, you're going to have the screw, so we're going to unscrew the screw. The Allen wrench in. I like it to send it around like this. Makes it easy to come out. Keep that on like that. Put it through the hole again. Now, it comes up. It makes it a little bit easier now because the faceplate keeps everything stable. Line it up and start to screw it in place. What you're going to want to pay attention to here is that this camera wants to be exactly perpendicular to the person's face and eye. One of the ways to guarantee that is to make sure that the macro focusing rail is pointed straight at the faceplate. So you can Go up, look at it like this, give it a little torque, check it out, looks good. Now comes the camera part, putting this Allen wrench back. Just put your finger in here, pick it up, it's ready to go. It's one big unit, you don't have to take it apart, very, very stable. There's a mounting plate here, and there's a mounting plate on top of this macro focusing rail. So this part goes right in here. And as this is packed up with this plate closed. So in order to get this into there, you have to open up the plate. I'll show you how to do that right now. So there's an arm. You can see this. Can you see that? There's an arm. The arm moves over to a certain distance. Doesn't go all the way because there's a safety mechanism that's built into it. This little pin right here. So when you open up the arm, you pull the pin back, and then the arm goes all the way. That basically is there so the camera doesn't get accidentally taken off the stand and fall down. That would be a problem. Then you're going to notice that there's a golden or brass pin right there. That brass pin holds this latch open, and you'll take this edge, line it up, push down that little pin. You heard it click. That's the safety mechanism latching onto the camera. Give it a little bit of a push there to make sure everything is stable, which it is. Now, the next thing is you want to have a place for a person to put their chin, and that is going to be the chin rest. So we'll take the chin rest, put it in like this. This little knob here will create tension on the chin rest so you can adjust it up and down. It's got a nice nylon end to it so it holds stable, but it doesn't scratch anything. So I generally have the chin rest there. For most people, it seems to work really well. And there you go with that. So a couple things you're going to keep in mind now that you have it set up is that you would normally scooch down, look at the person's eye. You would move from one eye to the other by moving this knob side to side. Once you are aligned on that person's eye, you want to be able to focus the eye. Doing iridology camera work, you do not use the lens to focus. You use the macro focusing rail. And the way that you do that is that there is an adjustment knob on the rail itself, and that moves the camera in and out, and that in and out changes the focal field of the lens. So you'll move it in until the focal plane gets right onto the irises. Once it's there, push the button, take the picture, everything is ready. So that's what you do there. Now pull this off, pushing the little safety latch to the side to fully release this knob. A couple things to pay attention to with the camera. There are a couple of few things to turn on. The camera itself, you turn on here. That little knob right there. You can see on. When it goes on, the LCD lights up. This camera is set to 100 shutter speed, 25 f-stop, and 100 ISO. And most cameras come through that way. Occasionally there'll be one that's a little bit different. Turn that button on, there's a little power button. You let this button get pushed for about 3 to 5 seconds. That's what it takes to turn this on. There's a button on the top here which turns the focusing lights on. And there's a couple of places where there are batteries. There's this here is a switched battery supply. 2 AA batteries in here which power up these focusing lights. 2 AA batteries here which power up the flash unit. And 1 battery, of course, for the camera, which is right there, and just like all the other cameras. So now we have unpacked and assembled. You've seen that you focus by moving the macro focusing rail in and out. You know how to turn the camera on and off. And now it's time to pack it back up. A couple of things to keep in mind. This goes in as a full system. Just slides in like that, it's perfect. You want to make sure that this hand mount is perfectly straight up and down. Then comes disassembly of the stand. So when we pulled the macro focusing rail out of the box, we had to open it up so that it would accept the camera. Now when we're putting it back in the box, we want to take this arm and put it back to where it was. The way to do that is with this little brass pin right there. You push it down, and then it locks in place, and you're good to go. So the next part, Allen wrench. Screw. You might have heard of an old saying, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, or righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But basically what that means is, when you go clockwise, that's tightening. When you go counterclockwise, that's loosening. And so it's one of those little jingles that you can remember for yourself so you know which way you're going. I just make it snug like that. And at this point, we need to put this back in the case. Now, it's been all moved around from its original position, and if it's in a different position than it was originally, it's going to have a different shape. If it has a different shape, it's not going to fit in the shape that the foam was cut out at. So we need to put this back into the shape that will go back into the foam appropriately. So what you want to look for is this right here. There's that pin. This loosens and tightens some tension on the rail. It's all set and calibrated to be the way it should be. But you'll take and align the edge of this rail up with the edge of that pin. That way there, when this goes in the case, both of those are the same height. The other thing that you're going to want to pay attention to is, where is this knob? Now, the way it was originally packed up, this knob was pushed just a little bit past that aluminum piece. And so you get it in about that position. You'll get really good at it quickly. And then you kind of look down and say, oh, that is pretty darn close, but I get to move it around just a little bit more, and in it goes. Perfect, just like that. Okay, now we're going to take these out. This goes in this little hole right here. Chin rest goes in this hole right here. And we're going to take the face plate off in the hole. Now, you want to pay attention to this because, again, if you have the plate tilted backwards up against the screw, it'll be a lot easier for you when this comes off, because now you're supporting it right here. So do that, then I put it back in, screw it in, always keeping the location of these screws where it's supposed to be. Allen wrench goes back in the case, back in the foam, and then this foam here is ready to go on top. Yes, it is. Okay, so this part goes on the camera. This part here goes on the macro focusing rail. You look, you line it up, push it down. Hey, it worked out pretty well there. Okay, and you take this, put it right in the hole that was designed for. If you want to travel with these papers, a lot of people like having the documentation, what to look out for, what it looks like, how you pack it up. Here it is right there. This foam will come down. Easy to line up on the foam on the bottom. This base plate, these felt pieces will go up against the top of the case. So that will keep everything stable and firmly set without damaging or scratching anything. So I put this edge on the edge of the foam, and the top foam is lined up with the bottom foam. Now you take this case and you put the top down. It's a little bit tight. Yep. Nice and snappy. There you go, like that. But when you're all said and done, it's tight. Everything is in there, perfectly secure, in a tough case, ready to travel with you anywhere in the world. So, here you go. This is the unboxing, assembly, disassembly, and reboxing of the Iridology camera. Been a pleasure talking with you. Look forward to talking with you again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.